Update. My 44F mother wants to meet me. 24M after 8 years I don't know what to do. Original post. So she was dating my father when he got her pregnant and left her after she told him she is pregnant. I don't remember much, but my grandparents raised me. She would visit once a week. She would take me to shopping, get me chocolates, etc. Grandparents died when I was 6, so my mom take me in. She was married. I never knew she's married and had a baby, but I didn't think too much about it. Growing up I was neglected. All her love and care was for my half-sisters. Her husband abused me emotionally and physically. He would yell at me for little mistakes like if slip some water, wake up late, and my mother was a bystander and sometimes participate. She always tells me about how my father left her when she needed him most, how I almost ruined her life. This all in front of her husband, and lastly he would kiss her and tell me how he saved her. Well, I was just a 12 at that time. I get hurt and jealous every day by seeing how they treats their daughters with love and affection. I never expected her husband to be my father, but she is my mother. How could she be so cruel to me, her own child? She always guilt-tripped me by saying she's the one who's feeding me and is giving me a shelter to live. I was bright student in school and still I am, but she never got happy for my progress. I thought if I study hard she will love me cause I loved her very dearly. But I realized too late, no matter what I do she will always show me where I stand. So when I was 16 I got in touch with one of my father's sister, through my mother's childhood friend. She knew how my mom treats me and she wanted to help me, I guess. We hang out more and she finally asked me how I was living with my mom. I just broke down and tell her everything she said she knew, and that's why she wants to help me and asked me if wants to live with her, and I said yes. 1 month passed and I was ready to move in with her. So I got home, she was in kitchen. I asked her to come upstairs when she's done. She come late and conversation goes like this. She, what do you want now? Me, can I ask you something, mom? She, what, me? Do you love me? She, of course me. Then why don't you stop your husband when he abused me? She, that's me. Let me finish, mom. You hate me, don't you? That's why you let him abuse me for years. You never showed me any affection, but you love your daughters. You attend their parents' meeting, but you never showed up at my school. You even send me to another school. That's how you love me. Just why you never loved me. I did do something wrong. Tell me. She, how could I hate you? You're my son. Me, then why you hurt me so much? I can't show you how much it's hurt whenever you choose your husband over me. It's feel like my heart will stop beating. Every single time you chose to hurt me, but I loved you. I tell myself that one day you will love me, but it was my fantasy which come to an end. She, he cares for you. I interrupt. Me, look, you are choosing him again. Mom, I always choose to love you even though I always get hurt by you in return, but this time I choose to not to get hurt anymore. I know you don't give a damn about me. That's why I'm moving in with my aunt. She knows her. And I expect you to at least respect my decision and let me go to live my life. She was just standing, didn't say a word after I tell her I'm moving with my aunt. Next day I move out. When my mother and her husband was at work I didn't say bye to my half-sisters. We moved to another state and I cut off my mom and her entire family. That was 8 years ago. I never heard anything from them in this 8 years. I still live with my aunt, her husband and her daughter. They are nice and kind people. Also now I have job and I'm on the way to becoming a software engineer, so I can say I'm doing good. But yesterday I get voicemail from my mother, said she wants to meet me and to please talk to me and was crying. I haven't responded yet. Should I call her or should I just block her? I can't decide. Any advice is appropriate. Edit. Thank you for your kind words, I really appreciate it. Here's some more. I haven't told my aunt about mom's voicemail. Will do tonight after dinner. And my dad died when I was maybe 3, and yes, he tried to meet me but she never let him. She used me to get money from my dad and his parents. My dad left me some money. Now for the updates. Update 1. So much happened in last 4 days, so I thought I should write an update. So here's what happened. So I talked to my mom, aunt and uncle day after the post, told them about her voicemail. They were so understanding about my emotional situation. I told them their opinion is most important for me. I asked my aunt about mom's friends, so she called her and invited her to dinner last night. She told us that her husband and his sons kicked her out cause she argued with her older daughter-in-law. Her husband filed for divorce and she will not get anything from him cause he had her sign prenup. Her daughter refused to help her and is living with her father. She's now all alone and is living in her parents' house. Her friend said she knows I'm engaged and perhaps wants to meet me cause she is sorry for how she treated me. After listening to all this, I asked my aunt what she thinks. She said she doesn't trust her and she's trash, but will understand if I want to meet her. Uncle said I should meet her without looking for any kind of relationship. So after giving it some thoughts, I decide to meet her. I messaged her telling I'm ready to meet her, but my aunt is going to be there and she must come alone. She said okay, and I massaged her today that we will meet on Sunday in a restaurant. She said she will book a table, As many of you suggested, this restaurant is always crowded. So that's what happened in last couple of days. I will write an update if anything happens. Thank you again. Update 2. Yesterday when we get to the restaurant, she was with her another friend, and when she saw my aunt with me, she freaked out and started to cry loudly, saying that my aunt stole me from her, that she's the reason I didn't acknowledge her, and also she used a black magic to control me. The list goes on. Everyone at the restaurant was looking at us like we are criminals. Some of them started to record videos. It was so embarrassing. I realized I will never get the closure from her. We left in the car. My aunt was crying, saying she failed again to protect me. She knew it would happen like this. That's why she didn't want me to meet her at all, but she did for my sake. I told her I will not gonna meet or talk to her ever again. I blocked her number on everything. And this morning I get new no. So yes, that's what happened. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you when you guys told not to meet her. Story 2. Update. Am I the a-hole for threatening to end things with my long-term BF because he wants to work with his ex-fling? Original post. This is driving me a little insane. My boyfriend, let's call him Isaac, has his own podcast. It's finally starting to blow up a little. Due to privacy and me quite literally being on a few of the episodes, I'm not naming the talk show podcast. He also has a YouTube that's recently gained quite a following. He's nowhere near famous, but he's finally starting to be recognized. I used to be the main co-host, but I've been too busy with work lately to be overly active on the show. Obviously you can't have a podcast with one person. That's kind of boring. So Isaac told me he found someone to have as a more constant co-host when I'm not available. I told him that was great and asked him who it was. He told me her name was Abigail and sent me her Instagram. It didn't seem like he was hiding anything, so everything felt fine. But about a week later, we were having dinner with our friend group when Isaac's best friend, Josh, told me in front of everyone that he was surprised about how cool I was with Isaac working with his ex-fling. Let's say my reaction was the complete opposite of cool. I was more upset that Isaac lied to me than anything. Why would he feel the need to lie about something like that? I like to consider myself pretty laid back about these kinds of things. Would I have felt awkward? Yes. But the show is recorded in the apartment that me and Isaac share, and I seriously don't see him cheating on me. We're really serious and have been talking about marriage lately. But the fact that he lied? It's the only red flag he's really shown me, but I just feel really weird about it. When we got home, I made him talk to me about it. About a year before he met me, he met Abigail and had a friends with benefits relationship with her. Apparently he ended things with her because he wanted something more serious, something with labels, and she didn't. Once again, not that disturbing or weird. But he still lied to me. And the way that his best friend said it was almost in awe, like the idea was unbelievable, making me think there's more to the story. I told Isaac I don't feel comfortable with him and Abigail because if he felt the need to lie to me about working with an ex-fling, it's probably not the best idea. He said he really needed someone who could be a constant co-host on the show if I couldn't, and I said he would just have to find someone else because I was not comfortable with this. I told him maybe I would have been if he didn't lie, but he lost that chance. I kept going far enough to say if he kept talking to her I might have to reconsider our relationship. He eventually agreed, but he's been giving me the silent treatment for the last couple days. Our friend group knows what happened, due to the mid-dinner announcement. It's split 50-50. Some of my friends think I should cut him some slack and he didn't mean to lie. They're saying Isaac is a good guy who just didn't want to hurt my feelings, but I have a really bad feeling about this. Now I'm worried I really did overreact. Other things like this have happened before, now that I really think about it, but so many of our friends are saying I'm overreacting over a small mistake, and I think they might be right. Now that I think about it, small things like this have happened in the past. But the thing is, I love Isaac. I'm willing to keep trying for him. I just can't get the sick feeling out of my stomach. The friends on my side think I should continue to talk to him about this, but I don't even know what to say at this point. I really need some advice. Edit 1. For all of the people going straight to breakup, I do want to make it known that I really love this man. We've been dating for 4 years. We have a child. I'm kidding. She's a cat. I understand that ending things might be the only option, but right now I want to focus more on advice than hearing how I should end things. Isaac has been with me during one of the hardest periods of my life, losing my sister. He is strong and kind and in the nicest possible way, an airhead. If breaking up becomes necessary, we'll switch gears. But all I need right now is some brutal honesty and advice on what I should say to him. Edit 2. He does have another job due to the fact that we can't survive off my money and the podcast alone. He works today, and I work tonight. I'll only have an hour to talk to him and I want things to be a lengthy conversation, so I'm going to wait until I'm off on Friday. I don't know what exactly I'll say yet, but I'll figure it out. Thank you for all the responses and I'll make sure to update. Now for the updates. Update 1. 2 hot takes wouldn't allow me to post this, so here we are. I'll link part 1 in the comments. I'm hoping this will reach all of the people that saw and commented on my post. First off, I want to thank you so much. To the ones of you who helped me think of questions to ask him, I cannot thank you enough. I was diagnosed with severe anxiety when I was 10 years old. I spent all morning pacing and had a minor anxiety attack before talking to him. Normally things like this make me burst into tears, no matter how major or minor. But I'm proud to say I held my ground. He brought me coffee this morning, something he almost always does. He's been talking to me more now, but there's still this weird distance between us. He brought me coffee, kissed my forehead, and we ate breakfast together. He told me about work and everything felt so perfect, but I knew deep down it wasn't. That this nagging feeling would never go away if I didn't talk about Abigail. So in the most uncouth way possible, I blurted out, "We need to talk." Isaac tensed and finally nodded, surprising me by saying, "We do." 1 point to anxiety. We talked for around 2 hours. I'm going to summarize our conversation. The first thing I asked was how long they've been in contact. He told me that the way they met was from being in the same psychology class in college and being in a study group. This added up. I know that he's still close with that old study group. Some of the guys in that group are his best friends. Josh being one of them. He told me they've stayed in contact through that group chat, but haven't talked one-on-one until recently. The second thing I asked was why the hell didn't he tell me? I teared up a little asking him and he immediately started profusely apologizing. I told him that it hurt to hear it from Josh and not him. He said, and I quote, "I didn't think it was a big deal. I know it's stupid, but I just didn't think about it." He told me that they aren't the best of friends and she just seemed like a good replacement for me until I could be more active again. I asked why he wanted her and why she was the first thought, and he explained how he wanted to do more topics revolving around college life, classes and study tactics, and she would be a good person to do that with since she was a part of his life during that stage. He told me that he loves me and he never meant to hurt me. He admitted that he knew it might make me uncomfortable, so he chose not to tell me because he knows how much I tend to spiral due to my anxiety. I got frustrated and told him that wasn't his choice to make. He agreed with me and told me he was sorry and he won't do it again. He added that Abigail will never have to come on the podcast, and he never wants to purposefully make me uncomfortable. I agreed, saying I didn't want her on the podcast. Then the tables turned a little. I thought this was going so great, we were in agreement and everything seemed fine. I had a little bit of closure and he seemed content. But then he asked me something I couldn't have guessed. "There's something else, she sent me nudes." What the fuck? I felt my heart break a little and asked how he responded. He showed me the messages. They were 2 fucking days old. He responded with a single message. "I'm flattered, but I have a girlfriend." Yet he didn't block her. I demanded he cut contact with her and he argued saying it would make it awkward for his friend group. I argued that I was his fucking girlfriend and yeah, the situation was awkward. I asked him how he would react if Josh sent me nudes, and that got to him. He admitted that he'd cut him off and expect me to do the same. He nodded and agreed to block her. I watched him block and delete her contact. I still didn't feel content. He saw those messages 2 days ago and didn't tell me. That was my breaking point. I basically said, "Maybe honesty isn't as important to you as it is to me, but if one of your friends sent me nudes I would tell you within minutes." I kept going and started crying. And he did too. He kept apologizing and saying that he hadn't brought it up to me because he felt like I was avoiding him and he wanted to wait until he knew I was ready to talk. Which felt like bullshit because he was giving me the silent treatment. I wasn't considering breaking up in my last post. But now? I don't know. I know this wasn't the update you guys wanted, and I promise there will be another one. I told him that I needed space, and I'm someone who's rare to set my boundaries until I'm really upset. He apologized and tried to hold me, but I stepped back. I'm writing this from my best friend's place. I'm over at her house right now staying the night. I told Isaac we can talk again in a couple days, but right now I need to think things through. The thing is, he cried when I started talking about ending things. Isaac doesn't cry. The only time I've ever seen him cry in our entire 4-year-long relationship was when his mom died. He loves me. I know he does. But I feel so lied to. Maybe I'm overreacting, but right now I just feel betrayed. I'm sorry, and I know this wasn't the update you all wanted. But thank you to all of you. If you want to give me advice, please do. I don't know where to go next and I still have questions I want to ask him. I'm okay with answering questions too. I'll try to update if something else happens, good or bad. And if anyone's curious, yes, I brought our cat with me. Update 2. Sorry it's been so long since I've posted. A lot has happened, and I'm honestly not sure where to start, but I'll start with this. We broke up. I ended up contacting Abigail. Some comments thought it might be smart, so I reached out to her over Instagram and asked for her side of the story. She had no idea who I was at first. She then seemed very surprised I was contacting her. She realized who I was from the little Isaac told her, but according to her, he said we started dating last month, not 4 years ago. This information really confused me and I needed to know more. We met up for coffee and she filled me in that they've been hooking up every once in a while, in her words maybe once or twice every 6 months, for years. She started crying and hugged me while she apologized, saying she had no idea I had been his girlfriend for so long. So apparently, their FWB relationship never ended and he had been cheating on me the entire time we had been together. She assured me they had been safe and I shouldn't have anything, but in all honesty, I kind of blanked out. I was with this man for 4 years. I don't blame her in the slightest. I think she wants to keep in contact, but right now it's too painful to talk to her. It's not her fault, it's purely Isaac's, but I just can't deal with anything that is remotely connected to him right now. I'm so confused on whether Josh knew this or not, but I feel like he wouldn't have said anything that night at dinner if he did. I'm so sorry this update took so long. I broke up with Isaac over text, classy, I know, and told him my best friend would stop by to collect his things. I also bought our cat and said that I'd like to keep her. He protested on the breakup, saying we could get couples therapy. But I said there was nothing that could fix 4 years of lying. Right now I'm living with my best friend and we're having some serious girl time. I'm in shreds, but I know that this was for the best and it would have hurt more to stay. Sorry again for the late update and thank you all for your advice. Sorry for the repost. It got taken down and I still want advice and thoughts. Update 3. This is the final update. I wasn't even going to write this, but I thought it would be a slightly happier ending for some of you guys and in all honesty, for me. Josh ended up calling me last night. At first I didn't answer in fear it was really Isaac trying to contact me through him, but after the third call I did. This guy sounded pissed. The first thing he said was, "Name, I am so sorry." He didn't give me any room to speak before going on this tangent on what a shitty guy Isaac is and how he can't believe he was best friends with a guy like that for so long. He told me that he made a spontaneous stop by at my old apartment, something that wasn't unusual for him, and was confused when he realized I wasn't living there anymore. Isaac admitted to cheating on me, something Josh didn't know, but had suspected. You guys were right. He said that comment to warn me. Some things I've come to realize is Isaac was possessive. He wouldn't let me hang out with our male friends one-on-one. He was always lurking next to me. Josh told me he alerted our entire friend group of what Isaac did, and while 2 or 3 of the guys took Isaac's side, what the F, the rest felt terrible for me. They cut contact with Isaac and those couple guys. Josh told me that if I need anything, he would love for me to ask him, and he apologized again, saying he should have told me earlier when he thought he'd seen the signs, but he never would have assumed Isaac had been carrying this infidelity for so long. So yeah. I guess 2 could do another update if anything big happens, but this is where I stand.